Okay, so this is personal finance or finance. Yeah, because you could have finance for a company. So you could have like business finance, but this is going to be specific to you and your future money. Make money. And spend money. Okay. Was there more? Yeah. All right. So savings. Funny story about this anyway. All right. The amount that is left over after you've paid your bills and stuff. So this is after you have paid whatever you need to pay for the month. Anything extra. Positive savings is when you have money left over. And basically nobody uses the term negative savings when you owe money. Normally we say you're broke. Or so either that you're broke or you don't have money in the account or you have debt, something like that. A savings account is where you can put this extra money so that you don't end up either accidentally spending it or it's more tempting if you see it in, let's say, your checking account or your regular account, basically. And so whenever you go to, let's say, the bank and you open an account, you really want to open two. One should be a savings account. The other one should be something more like a checking account. And the checking account is the one you're going to kind of link to your job, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be every month, but every now and then you should go in, and normally this is after you've paid your bills. Nothing. Hang on a second. It popped up for me, so I don't know. Maybe you need to wait a little longer because of your internet? I don't know. When I clicked the link, it popped up. Anybody else have problems with the link? You might want to click it again just to see. And maybe wait a little bit. All right. So after you've paid your bills, you'll want to go in and see what you have left and move any of that extra money over into your savings account. A lot of times a savings account will give you interest. So the more money you have in there, the more money they put in there. It's not normally a ton of money, but any extra money is better than no money. So by putting money into it, you are kind of making money on top of it. Remember to put into the chat when you're done typing. Right now I've only got 2 that did that. And I'm going to sit here and wait until I get more than 2. It's going to be a very long video if I wait that long. All right, well, I'm going to move on and just keep going. And if anybody missed it, then oh well. All right. Go back. Loans. So if you need money for to start a business, to buy a house, to go to college, whatever, you will go to the bank and be like, hey, I need a loan. And this is normally a lot. You're not going to get a loan for $20. I mean, you might be able to go to your like parent and be like, hey, can you lend me $20? And then you pay them back. But in general, like in the sense of going to the bank, so you'd go there, and what you want to find is a loan with low interest. If you are making money, you want something that's going to pay you a lot of money, right? So you'd want a high interest. But if you have to pay and give money up, you want to find something with low interest, because high interest means they're going to give you more because it's a percentage of the money. Low interest means you're not getting a lot. If you go to the bank, you get money, and they say, okay, I'll go back later to any slides that were missed. If you have, so let's say you have a account and you have to pay back 5% interest, and then you've got 10% interest. All right. So, and let's say, just to simplify, it's $100. So every month when you make a payment to give back the $100, you're going to have to add on top of it that interest. So let's say you make a payment of $10 every month until $100 is paid back. So for the 10%, you're going to pay another 10. So another 10 on top of the 10 you already are paying back. So you'll pay $20 back. Now, the other one is 5% interest. So that would be $5. So every month you'd pay $15 instead of $20. So it's better to pay $15 back than $20. And this is extra money on top of the money you actually borrowed. So like the longer it takes you to pay this back, which would be, let's say $10, so 10 months, you're paying it back. Every single month, you're paying extra on top of it. Now, that's a pretty big interest rate. You definitely don't need like 10%. That would be insane. Well, I don't know. Some people do that. Also, if it's not loading, you might need to restart your browser. Oh, that's crazy. Well, you can just wait until I finish this video and make it, and then afterwards you can go into the video and pause it and get the answers. I'll show you that afterwards. Anybody need more time on this slide specifically? I can go back later as well, because I know somebody need more time on savings, so I can go back. So here's interest. So this is money paid regularly at a particular rate for the use of money lent or for delaying the repayment of a debt. So this is what I was talking about. So that, let's say 5%, 10% on each payment that you're making. But 2% would obviously be better. So 2%, what is 2% of 100? $2. So if you had to pay $2 extra back per month, that would probably be ideal compared to, the $10. So 10%. Anybody need more time on this slide? Okay. I'll wait a bit. Okay. Hang on, let me. Okay. All right, credit. So the deal with credit is that you have basically either taken out a loan or you have a credit card and you have paid some of that back, and you have paid it back on time and in the correct amount for it to show up as good credit. That means that basically you have shown that you can pay it back, you can pay it back on time. Basically, you're like this kind of trustworthy person to the bank. And so if you've shown that you can pay everything on time, you can pay it in the amount that you said you were going to, they're like, okay, well, we can loan you a higher amount if you need it, or we can also give you an account with lower interest rate. So they're like, we can trust you, so we will reward you by, instead of, charging you $10 a month in credit, we'll charge you $2 a month in credit. Bad credit is if you didn't make a payment or you keep paying things late. One payment might not be that bad, but if you do it more than once, now it's a problem. If you can't pay it all, if you never finish paying it, anything like that, the bank is like, you're concerning. You are a worrisome individual and you might not give us our money back. No credit is when you're just starting out. You haven't taken out a loan, you haven't had a credit card, you haven't had to pay anything back. So that's where everybody kind of starts. I mean, that's just how it starts. No credit is better than bad credit. Bad credit is the worst of the worst. You do not want some bad credit. It's better to have no credit. Good credit is all, the best one, obviously. I mean, it's got good in front of it, so. All right. Anybody need more time on this slide? I'm seeing a lot of people that are done. So, who needs more time? I'm not seeing anything. All right. So, this is just kind of going along with what, well, no. Okay. So, this is going with what I said before. All right. So, maybe here it says low rate but high fee. So per month you're paying, like, instead of like $100, you're paying $200, but the interest rate might be, I don't know, 2%. And you're like, I can't pay that much. Or the percentage rate might be high. You'll hear it a lot on TV or maybe commercials or things like that where they're like, low interest rate. High interest loans, this is where you have to pay more back. So this is like your $10 rate is what you have to pay on top of what you borrowed. So that is if you have bad credit or no credit. So they're like, we're going to get more money out of you because we don't know if you're going to pay it back or not, and we can't trust you yet. Low interest loans are, you've proven that you can pay things back. So this is why a lot of people are like, credit cards are bad, but you do need one eventually, and you do want to establish good credit so that when you're like, oh, I want to buy a house, you don't go in with no credit. You want to be able to be like, look at my credit, it's so beautiful. Don't you want to give me a low rate to pay per month on my house? So you do want to have one. You don't want more than one credit card. Maybe two, but one. That is a life thing. Like, do not get more than one. I don't care what it says. One. The end.
My parents have like 5.
Yeah. It's doable. Like, you can do it. It's just very concerning because if, like, my husband has more than one, but at the same time he pays all his bills, so his credit score is like 800 something, which is insane, by the way. Good credit normally is in like the 700s, so it's kind of ridiculous. But so it's doable, but that means every month you need to pay attention to all those cards versus paying attention to one card. All right, anybody need more time on this slide? Oh, yeah. Anyway. No. All right. Investment. When you spend money with the expectation of achieving a profit. So basically, you'll give up some money and put it into something, and you believe that thing is going to get better. If you've ever seen Shark Tank, for example, that is one of the big ones that I cite most of the time, to where whatever company goes in there and they're like, hey, invest in my company. I've got this great product, da 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 da. And they want a certain amount of money to either open the factory or whatever it happens to be. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons and things that they want. And the people who are sitting there, those are the investors. Those are the people who are like, is it worth it? Should I put up my money? Because if you invest in something and it is not good, then you will lose the money you put into it. And that is not great. So you want to be careful with this. If your friend comes up to you, it's like, I've got this great idea. You just got to give me half of the money and I can make it happen. You probably need to be like, is it going to cost me like $5? Because then, yeah. If you want like 100,000, I don't know. How many more we got? 8. Okay. Anybody need more time on this slide? All right. All right. Inflation is when you've got a product and the price of that product goes up for the only reason being either the economy is bad, the government printed too much money, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of times people are like, why not just print more money? Well, because that'll cause things to increase in price. So, for example, what was this? This was a gallon of milk. So and this is, okay, so this is dramatic. This should not, some of this shouldn't happen in this short amount of time. You might hear from like grandparents, oh, the price milk used to cost 10 cents. That's what we're talking about, kind of. All right, so orange is the price in March 2007, and yellow is the price in March 2008. So the milk cost $3.22 in 2007 and $3.80 the next year. Now, the milk didn't change. All right, you're not all of a sudden getting more milk, and that's why the money is increased. So there's nothing that has changed about that product. The price is just going up. And this is what? Ice cream. Let's see, up here, this is a whole dollar. What was that? Cheese. Cheese went up a whole dollar. Chicken nuggets stayed the same. And what is this? Coffee stayed the same. So definitely cheese was seeing a whole dollar, man. That's pretty intense. All right. Does anybody need more time on this slide? Anybody? Anybody? No. Go back. All right. After you've had a savings account for a while, you might end up with a lot of money in that savings account. And basically, well, what they did to me, the bank called and was like, hey, you have like all this money in this savings account. Do you want to move it to a money market account? And I'm like, what the heck is that? And basically, you get more money per month or year on top of what you're saving. So the bank will pay a higher interest to you. So it gives you more money. But you need to have more money in to start the money market. So it's almost the same in the sense of good credit. You've proven that you could save up this amount of money. So they're like, all right, you can have this kind of account. Now, it might cost more there might be penalties in place if you pull your money out. Well, I say penalties, that might not be, it might not be that bad. So let's say in a money market, they put certain things in place so that it benefits you to save it. So you don't want to take your money out of it like you would to pay monthly bills, for example. It'll be like, hey, after withdrawing money 3 times out of your money market, then you have to pay a certain amount of money to withdraw it, because they're trying to keep you from, just spending your money and not saving it anymore. Anybody need more time on this slide? Anybody out there? No one needs more time? All right. Here I've just got a picture that kind of shows the different types of accounts. So like minimum opening deposit right here. So business checking, business analysis, business. So so this is 2,000 that you need to put into it. Savings account, you need to have 500 to start it. And money market, you need 2,500 to start it. And account activity, let's see, 30 up to 100 checks. So you can write 100 checks for this, 100 checks for this, 100 checks, and you can deposit 30. Here, this is limited activity. So again, you can only do so much because they obviously want you to save the money. Service charge. So if you do too much, then you might have to pay extra. So let's see, $5 per quarter, $2 for each withdrawal over 6. So you can withdraw money basically 6 times. But if you do more than that, now they're going to charge you $2. Here you can have, $15. My excess activity charge is $10. All right. So if you've got this amount in there, then you don't have to worry about these charges. And here's like the interest. All right. Woo! Okay, so stock market. Basically, what you're doing on the stock market is you're putting money into something and you're investing, essentially, is what you're doing. So you're trying to put your money into something in hopes of gaining more money. So stocks is where you're getting a little bit of the company. Or actually, well, I don't know, you could probably get a lot of the company. Share is the unit of ownership. So you might have, let's say, the company has a total of 100 shares. That's it. And again, I'm simplifying, right? Because it could be friggin' million. All right, so let's say there's 100. And so if you own 51 shares in the company, basically you own the company. Because you'd have the most out of anybody, and yeah, that's what it is. So somebody else might have 20 shares. Somebody else may have another 20. Somebody might have 15. So you own more of the company through those shares. You might split it equally across the board so that everybody has equal ownership. You might have, I don't know, let's say you do have something like 1 million shares, right? And the main owner has 500,000, and then everybody else has, like, it's the general population, and they've got just 1 share. But when that happens, every time money is made on whatever it is, you make money if you have a share. Now, there are some where you could lose money. Oh yeah, I should hurry up, huh? Anybody need more time on this slide? Anybody? No one needs more time. Yes, you do. Don't. We're good. Okay. All right. How could the use of high interest loans affect a person's financial health? High interest loans can be difficult to pay back, which will make it harder to get future loans. High interest loans are reported to credit agencies and will hurt credit history. High interest loans can be deducted from income tax, helping an individual save money. High interest loans typically get fewer fees and therefore less overall costs. D, nope, not true. C, no, it cannot be deducted, so I don't even know what that is. High interest loans, well, you know what, maybe. This is kind of like a maybe, but that's only if you don't pay it. You can have a high interest loan, and if you pay it, then it won't hurt your credit history. It'll actually make it better. So the answer is A. If you have that, then you can submit.